You're listening to Underground USA.
Welcome back to Underground USA. My name is Frank Salvato. Be sure to check out everything we do at undergroundusa.com. Sign up for the new mail out. It comes directly to your email inbox and is available 24/7, 365 at undergroundusa.com. Here's this morning's segment on the Captain's America Third Watch with Matt Bruce, as broadcast on the Salem and Genesis Communications networks to over 2 million people each and every night across the world.
Right now, from the panhandle of Florida, we have Mr. UndergroundUSA.com himself, and that would be none other than Frank Salvato.
Mr. Captain.
Yay! I'm enjoying the basky warm temperatures here at the moment, 55 degrees, thank you, gang, because come Sunday morning, the bottom drops out of it.
Yeah, we're going to have another wave here, and if you're cold down there, chances are it's going to be very cold where I am too.
You're going to be freezing your tootsies off, but you're not. But you're not going to be shoveling snow, because I just got done talking to our friend Chris Markowski, and he's going to be on the borderline of either 1 foot, 2 foot, or 3 foot of snow, depending on where that thing decides to settle in.
Yeah, I don't miss those days at all.
No,
so,
sir.
You enjoy yourself. I moved to Florida for a reason.
Well, no, sir. Thank you very much.
You got it.
Well, Frank, I'm going to start with something a little unique right here. The president's approval rating in Georgia is now at 34%, a state that he managed to flip back in 2020. Well, it's going to flip back to where it's supposed to be this time. But that prompted Stacey Abrams to say, well, I have a scheduling conflict. Now, today, he's going to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you have the leading candidate for governor, the Democrat, leading Democrat for Senate running, and they both said, we have scheduling problems. We won't be able to make it, because his numbers in Pennsylvania have dropped 16% in the last 2 months.
Both of them are meeting with Stacey Abrams, obviously, with their scheduling conflict. He's radioactive. The guy has done nothing. Everything he's touched turns to garbage.
Yep.
And he is probably the most divisive president, even more so than Barack Obama. I didn't think that was possible.
I didn't either. Mm-mm.
So he might as well just stay in Washington or go back to Delaware for the weekends, because I don't think there's going to be anybody, including the radically far left, who are going to want to campaign with him if there's even a remote possibility that there's going to be a challenge at the poll in November.
Right.
And that 33% in Georgia, I believe, was it 33 or 36%? That's being generous.
Mm-hmm.
And we really do have to question whether he flipped that state or not after all of the nefarious stuff that was happening down there. I don't care what
That's right.
Rastenberger says.
Mm-hmm.
So his popularity today, a year into his presidency, really does support the examination of that election a year ago. So
now, you mentioned the radical part of the Democratic Party. I will tell you that a not-so-radical congressman out of South Carolina, who probably got Joe Biden the nomination by endorsing him in that state and turned his fortunes around, said that he'd do it again. But here's the deal. He admitted he demanded Joe Biden honor his Supreme Court request by nominating a black female judge to the Supreme Court, or else he would get no endorsement from Mr. James Clyburn.
Quite honestly, when you look at the Congressional Black Caucus, which Clyburn is on, they do, and this is not a racist statement, it's just a fact. Every time something comes up like this, they tend to gratuitously demand that someone from their caucus or someone who would support their caucus gets the nod. Now, are there qualified black women to be sitting in the Supreme Court? Obviously. There's qualified people up and down the line. But this is, once again, this is a political move.
They've made it racist, though, in doing what they're doing.
Of course they did.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime a qualification is skin color, it's racist.
Mm-hmm.
This idea that people could redefine what racism means, and that black people can't be racist, is one of the biggest fallacies that have been floated on the American people. If you're looking at people through the lens of skin color, that's employing racism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it till the day I die when it comes to an appointment to any position, including the Supreme Court. It's got to be about qualification. Will they defend the Constitution? Do they understand the Constitution? Will they make decisions based on the Constitution? We don't want a politically activist court.
Okay, hold that thought, folks. We're coming back with more with Frank Salvato, undergroundusa.com. Don't go anywhere.
This is Kyle Warren, the professor of politics. There's more of the Captain's America Third Watch coming up right after this short break. Stay right there.
Handcrafted exotic blend teas at the lowest shipping cost anywhere. Hi, I'm CJ, owner of the Emerald Coast Tea Company. We ship our premium gourmet blends with Sendle, offering you the lowest shipping prices anywhere, while also being carbon neutral. Excellent tea at the right price. Check us out at www.emeraldcoastteacompany.com. Honey, this ain't your mama's tea.
News, insight, passion. AM 930, The Answer. Online at theanswersarasota.com. AM 930, The Answer.
This is Frank Salvato from Underground USA, and you're listening to the Captain's America Third Watch with Matt Bruce. Heard by over 2 million people coast to coast and around the world every night. Captain, let's do it.
All righty, we will do it. And thank you very much, Frank. And by the way, folks, hardly a week ever goes by when I don't get a call from Sean at Moss Nissan up in Newport Richey asking me to come and meet one of my listeners that just bought a new Nissan. Their goal is to be the best in the nation. Check them all online at Moss, M-A-U-S, Nissan.com. Don't forget to tell them the captain sent you. All right, back to Frank Salvato, undergroundusa.com, and you were making a point. We were talking about the racism involved in what the Democrats are up to here.
Yeah, the injection of politics into the judiciary has done nothing but not serve the American people.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be about skin color. It can't be about gender. It has to be about qualifications. When you get to be nominated for the highest court in the land, your duty is to provide the answer to whether something is constitutional or not whether it satisfies social justice. Not about preferred outcome of judgments so to fit a narrative. It is about whether it exists in the boundary of constitutionalism or not. And we've gotten away from that in a dramatic style in recent years with the activism coming out of the Supreme Court. As recently as Obamacare is something that was a political and social justice outcome to a question that was purely constitutional. We saw it again in the 2020 general election when they refused to intervene on a question of constitutionalism when it came to how 5 states' executive branches usurped the U.S. Constitution and federal election law. So the people that sit on that bench are the defenders of constitutionalism. I know there's a black female out there somewhere that is probably overqualified to be sitting on that bench. I hope that Joe Biden picks her if, in fact, the litmus test for him is it needs to be a black female. But skin color and gender, they're not a pre-qualification for understanding the U.S. Constitution. Mm-hmm. This is where meritocracy has to exist. And because it's politicized, Clyburn, in any other day, if the U.S. House of Representatives was being run by people who had ethics, mm-hmm. he would be called on the carpet and reprimanded for wanting to put a litmus test of race and gender on an appointment to the United States Supreme Court.
Now, we've got a comment from Fred down in Fort Lauderdale, and good morning to you, Fred. He says, anything based upon race or skin color or gender is discrimination and really an unlawful act to announce it in advance. There are highly qualified women of color in both parties. They just aren't all Democrats.
Well, absolutely, and it shouldn't enter into it.
Right.
If you're an elected official, it should be about your fidelity to the service of your constituents.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be about your gender or your race, and you shouldn't be wearing it on your sleeve. It's not a prerequisite for office, no matter what party you're in. And quite honestly, when you go back to George Washington's farewell address, he warned about the politicization of our governmental system.
Mm-hmm.
The political parties are not a prerequisite to office. They aren't. You don't have to be one or the other to be qualified to run for office and be elected. We have to start understanding that the political parties are just that. They're organizations that happen to be political, but they're two political parties.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a member to be elected to anything. The same way you don't have to be a black woman to be qualified to be nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court. So you want to get back to good? Stop with the racism. Stop with the gender discrimination. Stop with the politicization of our government. Politics is not government. We need to get back to government over politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't see that in my lifetime, I guarantee you.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, let's mention something here about these at-home COVID tests. Now, for some strange reason, all the at-home COVID tests that are being distributed, as well as all the N95 masks, every one of them has come from China.
Yeah, well, it's a one-stop shop. You can get the virus, you can get the test, you can get the mask. And anybody who doesn't see that there's something very, very wrong about this propaganda campaign is not looking at this straight. You've got doctors testifying before Congress that they did use hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin, and they have a 99.99% survival and success rate.
Sure do.
Yet the FDA still says you can't use those to treat COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So there is something dramatically wrong in this, especially since indemnity has been built into the vaccines for the big pharma that came up with the vaccines that are preferred by our institutions over things that have been proven to work around the world. Now we're finding out that we have a stealth variant coming out. It's stealth. It's so stealth that you may not even know you have it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we that stupid? Well, then again, I do see people in masks in their cars with the windows rolled up and face shields, so I guess a big portion of us are.
Yeah. Frank, I got to talk about something. By the way, can you stick around for another segment?
You bet.
Okay, because what I'm going to talk about right now is going to take up the rest of this segment. Folks, we have a war on cops that's not going away. We, the people, America first, we, the people, need to stand up for our brothers of the badge, the brothers and sisters in blue, because we've had multiple officers shot in a 48-hour span this week across the country, which is totally, totally wrong. And we need to step up and do something about it. We need to demand that these people that are in office pass legislation or certainly give the money back to the police to do what they need to do. You know, the mayor of New York, say what you want about him, he did bring back this week the detective unit, the plainclothes detective unit, to get out there in the street and start scurrying to figure out where these crooks and these guns are coming from and whatnot. Because, I've been there, you've been there. You can walk on any street corner almost in any big city and say, hey, man, I need a piece. You can help me out? And within minutes, you'll have one.
The defund the police movement was completely irresponsible, and people who support it need to be called out as the idiots that they are. You don't call an activist when someone has a gun in your face. You call a police officer. When violence is happening to you, you don't call a social justice activist. You call a police officer. You don't call your elected official. You call a police officer. When you're in danger, you call 911 in the hopes that a police officer will respond to save you. To treat them the way we have been has been just shameful.
All right, hold on to that thought, folks. We're coming right back with more with Frank Salvato from the UndergroundUSA.com website. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The most listened to radio program in the overnights.